Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Welcome, everybody. As you notice, my co host has changed a little bit. Katie is off this week, so Caleb is filling in for her. So
It's me.
we should have fun this week. And for those that don't know who you are or what you do, you want to explain to people what you do?
Yeah, so I'm Caleb. I use they them pronouns. I work on the Ecamm marketing team, mostly behind the scenes, since you probably don't see me. Doing a lot of the emails, a lot of the social media, a lot of the project management, and then all the fun other stuff that falls in between.
Caleb and I work together on a lot of stuff, so have a good time. Uh, So, for those of you that may be new, office hours is kind of an open question. Ask us anything about Ecamm, how certain things work, what's going on, some of that stuff. We're here to answer your questions. Pop them into chat. Be sure to put a Q colon in front of it, and we'll answer your questions to the best of our abilities. And I just realized that I put the show profile on the Stream Deck that I usually have all my buttons to push for comments and stuff. So could be interesting today. But anyway, we're here to have fun and see what happens. Couple things off the bat. Um, Next week is Leap into Live. Uh, and this is going to be my practice of seeing how quickly I can push buttons here and find the right. Oops. Leap into Live is next week. So we encourage you to register for that. It's free. And then there is a replay pass that you can purchase if you want to be able to see the replays. There are going to be 9 sessions every day. So it's going to be a full jam packed day. You do not have to be using Ecamm for this to be, appropriate for you. It's good for anybody that's doing any kind of content creation. So if you have friends, invite them to join. Everybody's going to get something out of it. There's a lot of stuff packed
Yeah,
into this.
there's going to be a lot of great stuff there. I'm really excited. There's going to be a session from Liz about email. There'll be a session from our very own Stephanie Garcia, Leslie Samuel speaking. It'll be a great 3 days of just virtual information all about streamlining your tools and tactics for content creation. So, whether you're live streaming or recording content, it's the perfect place to be to kind of take the next step up before you head into the summertime.
And when you purchase a replay pass, you not only get access to the replays for this year, you get all the past Leap sessions too. So, there's a lot of information to go out there. Lots of good sessions.
For sure. So the replay pass this year comes with a guidebook as well, so it'll be fully digital. And then, like Paul was saying, you get all of our Leap content from forever. So I think that's like 200 hours of replay content on live selling, podcasting, live streaming, and whatnot. And then you also get all of the replay content we ever have going forward. So in the future, you don't have to buy a replay pass for next year, but you can just grab a guidebook or get it like for replay pass holders this year, we offered them a discount for the guidebook so that they don't have to rebuy the
Yeah,
replay pass.
if you bought the replay pass last year or the prior years, you have access to this year's too. So you're all set. The only thing you need to get is the guidebook. And I just saw the guidebook. It's actually rather cool. The
The
other,
guidebook will be super fun because
yes,
we're gonna put in all the notes for you so you can like be in the moment and then you can copy our notes after.
Kayla's going to be taking rapid notes through the whole thing.
Rap. I'll be typing quick.
Um, the other thing that is going to be coming up at the end of next month is Creator Camp registration opens on the 1st of May. So you're going to want to be sure to sign up for that. If you do not sleep on the thought of going to Creator Camp, there is a refund policy. So if you sign up and you can't go, you can get a refund back, up to 30 days before camp, but there are only 100 seats open for Creator Camp, and they are going to go fast based on all of us that went last year signing up again this year and then opening it up for everybody else. It's not going to last. They'll end up with a wait list, and then you kind of see if you get the chance to get in. But it is an incredible. It's 3 days this year. It's going to be an incredible time. It was probably, I will say, it was the highlight of my year last year, getting the ability to meet over 100 people that I have seen and interacted with online, suddenly to be able to see them in real life and talk to them and all that stuff. And I have made friendships that, will last a lifetime. It was fantastic and learned a lot too.
For sure. We'll probably open up a form on that website during Leap. So that way, the last 4 or 5 days before ticket sales open, you can mark yourself interested. And then you actually get like an email as soon as tickets go live. But if you don't want to sign up for that form, you just want to keep an eye on it. It's going to be May 1st, probably around 10 a.m. ish that the form will go live. And if you don't know, people that attended last year are getting early access. So by the time you guys get general public access, there's going to be a few less than 100 seats available. So you definitely want to be on top of it if you want to attend,
Yep.
because the people who were there last year want to come back.
Yeah. It's in Amesbury, Massachusetts, which is where Ecamm is. A lot of the meetings are in the actual Ecamm office, that place where you see Katie and them and Ken and Glenn stream from. You're actually going to be in that spot, be able to see that. Everything is close by within walking distance, so it's going to be different than it was last year, but a lot of fun. And we're planning on more evening kind of gatherings and talk sessions and stuff like that. We're all going to be pretty much all at one hotel, so it's going to be really really cool. We have some surprises planned for you all too.
Yeah. Food was incredible. If you're like me and you care about the food was incredible last year. The friendship was incredible last year, and then this year we're really prioritizing making time for content creation and time to network with people outside of your cabins. And we're even going as far as scheduling stuff that will happen after camp ends. So if you want to linger and hang out, you'll be able to linger and hang out and still partake in fun without having to like fall into the structure of the camp.
And I missed a question. Mark had okay. I need to change pages. Sorry. See if this works. I
Is
push
there an
there. Let's see if this is going to
oh,
work. There, sort of, kind of.
perfect.
Mark asked if there was an iOS or iPad application for the Leap content.
Mm, I don't think that there is. I think I could look into it. But you definitely will be able to access the Leap replays on your iPad and watch it that way.
Is Notion
Um,
available on Notion? You can do Notion on an iPad.
yeah, you'll be able to use the replay guide for sure on an iPad with Notion, because the replay guide is going to be in there. But I think Mark is talking specifically about the replay videos. And if you are, then you just access the replay portal as normal. Um, and as long as that is working for you, in terms of like on Safari and watching those videos that way, what I would do is, if you click the share button on a website browser, you can add it to your home screen as its own app. So I would recommend trying it out that way first.
Yeah. So as you can see, a lot of people from last year went to camping are going this year. Going back to Leap for just a second, if you were there last year, Leap is going to be, we're going to use the Alter platform again. It's kind of a cool presentation type platform. And that when you get into the main room, when we started, there are rows of seats, just like it would be if you went to the theater or an auditorium. So you can sit in a seat if you want, and you'll be able to talk to people next in your row. Or if you don't want to sit in a row and you don't want to, anybody to disturb you while presentation's going on or anything like that, I call it the standing room only. You can just stay in, join the room, but you don't have to pick a seat. There'll be breakout periods where you actually come into a room and there'll be tables that you can sit down with groups of people and stuff like that. So it should be a lot of fun.
For sure. I'm excited. Leap will
Uh,
be
so this
blue.
I love this question. It comes up frequently. Will Ecamm make it to the iPad as an app? Probably not.
Yeah,
It's a,
for a
it's a
minute.
it's a totally different kind of environment, and at this point in time, iPads are not where they need to be in order to be able to run Ecamm. So it's kind of like the answer to PC. PC is like a never. Uh, iPad is probably, and iOS apps are probably close to that, unless something magically changes, down the road in a period of time where they get a lot more beefier than they are.
Yeah, it's no for the foreseeable future,
Yep,
but the foreseeable future can change a lot every June. So,
exactly.
and like we'll find out one WWDC that it might be realistic in like 3 years, and likely when slash if Ecamm Live ever makes it to an iPad app, you will all know while it's being developed,
Yep,
just like you guys know when our fun new features are headed towards beta soon.
just like Ecamm for Zoom just dropped,
Exactly.
which is the other cool thing. If you haven't heard, uh, Ecamm is introducing next Wednesday. It's going to be into the beta. It's been an alpha, and we've been testing it, playing with it, and checking things out, trying to work out some of the bugs. But it's going to go into beta next Wednesday. Ken and Glenn will be doing a special presentation, a special stream where they're going to introduce it, show it. It will look a little bit differently than it did in January. There's things work much better now. We've gotten some things ironed out and tweaked some stuff, but they're going to show that how it all works and that, and then the public beta will open up. You'll be able to download the new version and test it along with us and see if you find any problems or anything like that, and give feedback. And then it will go to a public beta. We're hoping within the month, but it all depends on how the public release, but it all depends on how the beta goes. So, but it is cool.
It's very exciting, especially for Zoom power users.
Yeah. Being able to bring in comments and stuff like that into Zoom, uh, anybody that's in a meeting, you can pop them in. It's actually another option for interview mode. So you can bring anybody in Zoom in as an interview guest into Ecamm, um, through interview mode or through Zoom. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be neat to see what everybody thinks about it when it comes out. Tatiana says she's pumped for the Zoom integration. Oh yeah, Andy made a comment. He said, it's like the whole iPad thing. It's beefy, but not that much. It's just kind of like running Ecamm on an Air. It works, but don't count on it.
It's true.
Um, George asks, oops, come on, George, pop up here. It should work. Zoom should. He asked if Zoom will work with Zoom government accounts. It should work with any Zoom account. Basically, Ecamm now is the Zoom application. So I would expect it would work, but you may want to ask that question next week with Ken and Glenn just to make sure. But it should go.
For sure, I would double check with them,
Yeah.
um, just because they're gonna know a little bit better than us.
Yes. And since they're the creators, they know all the sneaky things. So if anybody has any questions, as usual, just type it in. Sorry, I'm trying to on the fly here. Um, Type a Q colon, we'll get to it, all that type of stuff. But anything you want to know, Ecamm related, just in general, you know, ask away, and we'll do our best to answer your question. Want to know how things work, how we do stuff? Um, yeah, ask away. Hey, Don. Yes, Katie and I usually do this once a month. We sneak in here and and chat and talk. So this time I drug Caleb in with me. I didn't want to do this on my own.
We let Paula on TV once a month.
Yeah, really. It can be dangerous. I was taking Katie's slides and putting it all together and testing it and all this stuff. And it's like, hopefully this works. Usually I ride, I ride in the passenger seat. I don't have to do anything except post a comment here or there. And now I'm pushing buttons. It could be very dangerous. Anyway,
No better person to push the buttons. Paul found something that I broke 5 days ago this morning, and I was like, "What do you mean? What do you mean? What are you talking about?" So that was a fun find. Paul's always pushing buttons.
yes, I'm kind of in our group, when we do testing and stuff like that in the moderator group, we always give Daniel a hard time because he'll break anything. He's an excellent tester. He finds all the stuff, and so I kind of am following under Daniel's footsteps and finding stuff. But the other thing, Valerie just brought it up, which was I was going to bring up here next, is next week Facebook is doing away with the API into groups. This only impacts Facebook groups. It doesn't impact Facebook business pages or your personal page, only groups. The API that does all this really cool seamless integration between Ecamm and Facebook is going to go away. So, which means you're not going to be able to bring comments on, you're not going to be able to go through easy steps to schedule your streams. You can still stream because you'll be able to use an RTMP um, URL and key, but it's just going to be a lot more involved in scheduling the stream and then actually going live. We do have um, Neil put together a really good video that walks you through all the steps of how to do the RTMP, how to schedule your stream, copy the RTMP into Ecamm and all that stuff. So I'm posting that in here now. So you can take a look at that. But it is going to be different. And I highly, highly, highly recommend that you try it a couple times, go into a private Facebook group or do some test streams just so that you get the feel of how it goes. Because once you get everything set up, when you go live, you're going to have to start, streaming in Ecamm. Then you're going to have to go over to Facebook and actually push a button that says go live that starts broadcasting the stream. So there's a lot of extra steps. He also talks about an extension that you can get for Chrome that allows you to bring comments in to the Ecamm from Facebook. So you can check that out. He has that in there too to kind of help bridge that gap. It's not going to be the same. It's going to be a lot more involved, but you can still do it.
And the good news is you'll still be able to stream to Facebook regularly. It's just groups that's being affected. And just because we know this is phasing out on Monday of next week doesn't mean that there might there's still potential that new things could develop inside of Facebook groups that open up a new pathway. This is just our workaround for what we know is happening. Facebook has always been one that's prone to on the fly changes. So I wouldn't be shocked if we find a new solution to this issue as time goes on, specifically regarding Facebook groups.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we have tons of tools to help you overcome these obstacles and continue to build your community in effective ways.
And if you have questions, if you run into problems, you're looking for how to do different things, um, you can always refer to our support page, support.ecamm.com. Uh, there is a list of topics, things like that. And in the search bar up here, all you have to do is type in something. You could type in RTMP and it will bring you information about RTMP. You know, any information, it will bring you a support document with attached videos that will help explain the document. So there's tons and tons of information in here, and we're always updating it and trying to keep it update and adding new stuff. So that is an excellent source of finding information about Ecamm
It's
if you
true.
have a problem. And then you can always post it in the Facebook group or in the Discord channel. We do have a Facebook group specifically for the beta, and that group is only for beta related issues. It's not for general questions and answers and that type of stuff. The beta Facebook group is specifically for beta stuff only.
Exactly. The community, Facebook community, as you guys all probably know, is going to be super helpful, and we will probably dive a bunch into best practices for using RTMP for Facebook groups and whatnot and the like as that develops. But also, if you aren't in the Discord, that's another great resource for that.
We have lots of places, and the thing with Facebook and Discord is you get to tap into the community. And the big thing about Ecamm, as we all know that have been around here for any length of time, is the Ecamm community is fantastic. It's unlike anything I've ever experienced in any other groups. I go to other groups and it just like, I want to hit the leave button because everybody complains and, they're not friendly and all that stuff. And in this group, 99.9% of the time we're friendly and willing to answer questions and help you out. This is I don't use Facebook like that. The platform is overwhelming to me. I basically go to the Ecamm Live Facebook page to check it, and that's it. Yeah, Facebook, and as Caleb said, Facebook is known. They'll change one thing will work today, and tomorrow you get up and you go to do something, and it's broke. And so Facebook is quite well known for kind of breaking things left and right. I think Daniel works for them.
It'll be a fun little journey, but like Louis says, it sounds like it's gonna be very similar to how streaming on Instagram will be using the RTMP Stream Studio over in Facebook.
Yeah, and realistically, every site that you can stream to uses RTMP. It's just that because of the integration with YouTube, Facebook, several of the others, you don't have to go through all that back end process of putting in a URL and putting in the stream key and doing all this other stuff. Ecamm has built that directly in with the integrations that they have. So, um, it's like we're losing a piece of candy. But anyway, anybody have any other questions? Any burning things you want to know about?
I saw Tatiana asked about more in depth about camp. It was a while back. She says, "Hello, will there be different levels or tracks available for
Very.
tailoring content learning, such as beginners workshops, intermediate, and advanced?" So, Tatiana, this is a question we got a lot at the end of last year. We are doing things to make the camp experience a little more varied for different levels of experience or content level learning. But overall, everyone will still be going through the same workshops as a cabin. We are introducing new challenges that cabins will be able to take on as a team, and that opens opportunities for intermediate and advanced Ecamm users to kind of help beginners and intermediate people and kind of shape the team experience overall, as well as we will offer some kind of more breakout sessions throughout that aren't necessarily cabin specific. So that's kind of a little bit of a sneak peek insight onto it. Um, yeah,
Uh, Don asked a question. He's knowing more about Zoom. You can go to ecamm.com/Zoom, and there's a landing page talking about it next Wednesday. As I said, when Ken and Glenn do their presentation, they're going to go through the entire integration, and you'll have a lot of your questions answered at that point. But ecamm.com/Zoom is a great place to go at this point to get some additional information. Tatiana asked if there's any update on bringing comments in. Uh, my understanding is that is still being worked on. It's not an Ecamm issue, it's a LinkedIn issue.
yeah. As far as I'm aware, the ball is still in LinkedIn's court.
Yep. It's all dependent upon their API and what they allow outsiders to do with it. George asked if the Ecamm beta group on Facebook is the place to ask, put feature requests. Yes, either there or in the beta Discord channel. Either of those two places are the place to put feature requests and that type of stuff. And for those of you that have never used one of Ecamm's betas, it is a separate installation of Ecamm. So you can have the regular, what I call the public version of it running, and you can use the beta groups. You can't have them both running at the same time, but they're both separate installations on your machine. So you can switch back and forth between the two. The only thing to be aware of with the switching between the two is when we do introduce special, new features and functionality, if you create a show with that um, using the beta and then switch over to the regular version is not going to know what to do with those features and functionality. So you can have a little issue there, but they do work between. Ecamm's betas are generally very stable. I think in the 3+ years that I've been with Ecamm, I've only remember, I think two, maybe three times where they recalled a beta right after they produced it because of issues and they fixed the problem and produced it back in. They're very stable, but I do warn you, they are betas. They are not perfect. The reason we put them out for a public beta is for all of you to put them through their paces and find the things that, based on how you use it, that break, don't work, don't make sense, and all that stuff, so that we can come back and make changes and tweak it before we get to the public release. So if you use a beta on a production, you're kind of, doing it at your own risk because something could go wrong. It could crash. Things could not function the way that you're expecting them to. So just be careful of that um,
For
when you're
sure.
using it.
For sure, there's definitely a difference between the production version of Ecamm Live, the full release, and the beta version, in the sense that if you're running a production, you probably should use the production version of Ecamm Live. If
Yep.
you're testing and you want to do live testing and testing while in the midst of a production, that mileage may vary. That's why it's in a beta. So just as we come close to a new phase of beta testing, that's an important thing to keep in mind. And it will be fun to test things out, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's ready for production level of
Yep.
use.
I mean, when the betas come out, that's pretty much all I use. I will, unless I'm teaching or something, showing somebody how to do something, I use the beta. Like I said, it's pretty stable, but there have been issues where certain things haven't gone quite the way that they were supposed to, and that's kind of. And I'm sorry, Maestro is visiting here in the corner. It's getting close to his lunchtime, so he's kind of like here to remind me, "Daddy, feed me." You don't hear those fire trucks, do you?
Only when you talk, but it's like not loud. It's muffled for sure.
Thanks for Chris,
Um,
because that one was
yeah.
loud. Hank wanted to know if there's any new pieces of equipment that we need to bring to camp that we didn't necessarily have last year. Uh, Other than a laptop, um, and a camera to take whatever stuff, you don't really need to bring a lot to camp, necessarily. Everything is kind of there. We have a lot of hands-on stuff, um, where you can play around with stuff and try stuff. So it's kind of up to you what you want to bring. Am I correct on that statement?
Yeah, for sure. We'll definitely have a packing list when we know for sure that there's like things that have to be brought versus things that you can bring at your discretion. Um, Right now, there's nothing that's like a super must bring in terms of equipment. We're gonna have studios available on site for you guys to get hands-on experience and during downtime. We're gonna have a lot more hands-on equipment time than we had last year, this coming year. And a lot of it is gonna be equipment available on site for you guys to play around with, so you don't have to worry about transporting any fun equipment that you own. We're just gonna have it available in our studios for you guys to get hands on with when you're here. And that also is good because if you don't have the equipment yet, it's going to give you a chance to play around and figure out if it's something that you need to add to your setup or not. Um, but in terms of equipment that you need to bring, Paul's right, really just a laptop, and maybe like any personal electronics that you want to bring to document your time at camp and your memories. But beyond that,
Yeah, and any gift you want to bring for me, that's fine too.
yeah, we do accept gifts and bribes.
Um, and one thing to add on to the whole camp situation is once you basically your transportation, getting there, and all that stuff in your hotel. But once you're there, your meals are supplied. So, you're going to get fed and fed very well. So you won't go hungry. But, we take care of that. The transportation between, all the different events and stuff like that, is handled by Ecamm too. So that's all taken care of. You just have to get there and get your hotel. Uh, Matt asked, are there plans to integrate Ecamm with other streaming platforms? I have not heard anything mentioned right now. A lot of it is based upon, you know, requests and desires and how much it's going to be used because it does take, some rather involved. I mean, if you look at the whole Zoom integration, this started, they've been working on that for well over a year. And it's just coming out. So there's a lot of work that goes into it. So they want to make sure that it's going to benefit a lot of people and not just, a small portion of the user base, when they do add something like that. So I haven't heard anything in those
Yeah, there's,
areas.
as far as I'm aware, there's nothing in the works in terms of a new integration for like streaming partners. Of course, as you mentioned, you can always use RTMP for those partners if they support RTMP streaming. Um, but for now, we are pretty happy with the API integrations that we have for streaming platforms. And I think that as more streaming platforms grow in popularity, we'll add them when they have APIs that are open for developers to use. But right now, if those platforms have APIs, I am not aware of them, and they haven't reached out to us for integrations. So it's kind of one of those things where some of them just it's easier for a streaming partner or platform to support RTMP stream keys because they don't have to go through the rigmarole of setting up API integrations and making that available to anyone. Um, but yeah.
Uh, GL would ask, can you tell me how to flag comments from YouTube and Facebook with Anycam? You cannot do that. If you're talking about like if they're dealing with spam messages and removing them and all that type of stuff. Um, that you cannot do. The only thing you can do is if it's YouTube, you can reply to them, but and bring them onto the screen. If the platform has that integration. But as far as being able to basically remove the comment, ban the person, and all that stuff, you cannot do that from Ecamm. You need to do that, externally. When I'm on the streams, I always have YouTube Studio running, and that gives me the ability to take more dramatic action and see stuff that's going on, in my own, from me being signed on as myself. I have some, because I'm a moderator, I have some ability to handle situations, but I can't deal with everything. I can't ban a moderator. I can't remove a moderator's comment. Whereas from YouTube Studio, I can do all that kind of stuff. I can dump a moderator. I have actually inadvertently dumped me as a moderator one time on a stream, uh, not paying attention and hitting the wrong thing, and so I took myself out. I put myself on like a massive timeout ban. So be careful. But yeah, you can't do that for me, Cam.
I'm laughing at Maestro just prancing across the desk.
Yes.
He's so.
It's like he's going to do what he does. He likes to come in and he sometimes he looks at the camera and smiles, and otherwise you just see his little question mark tail go. It's the reminder of like, do you have a question? But anything else? Anybody got stuff?
What else? What else?
Got any exciting tidbits, Caleb?
My tidbits are come to leap into tools and tactics and come to camp and um, if you're an affiliate, you should have gotten an email about Leap into Tools and Tactics on Monday. If you didn't, I'm sorry. Uh,
Yeah, and
talk
speaking of the affiliate program, if you use Ecamm, you really need to sign up for the affiliate program. And as you introduce people, you know, you're going to get 30%, if they sign up as a month on a monthly subscription, you're going to get 30% of that every single month for the first year. If they sign up for an annual, you're going to get 30% of that annual thing, that one time. And that can really add up. I mean, I've had some months that were, you know, three, four
beefy
hundred dollars from just sharing Ecamm with people and stuff like that. So don't discount that. I take advantage of that because you can make some. There are some people that are making sizable chunk
incomes.
incomes off of the Ecamm affiliate program.
And also, it's not like there's layers to the affiliate program, or levels rather, to the affiliate program too. So once you refer a certain amount of affiliates, you move from our standard affiliate program to our champion affiliate program. So your affiliate earnings increase from 30% of the sale to 40% of the sale. And then it's for the life of that subscription, not just for the first
Yep.
year. So
If your first 50 people, you only get you get paid for the first year of that person's subscription. After that, when you go become a champion, anybody that you bring on after that point, you will get it perpetually, forever, as long as they stay on the program and you stay subscribed to Ecamm. You'll get paid. It's a pretty cool thing. Valerie has a question specifically for you.
um, talk more about what I do behind the scenes at Ecamm.
He yells at me.
I yell at Paul, but only once or twice a week. So not that much. Don't worry, Paul is mostly taken care of. And then Paul and I work together. I tell Paul what to do on like content library and stuff like that. So I've created alongside with it would have been impossible without Paul's help, but With Paul's help, we've created a library of 2,000 plus pieces of Ecamm content. So every single YouTube video that comes out, Paul indexes for us and puts into a system that we created together. And then I look at our overall year at a glance calendar, and I kind of help us create videos that are on track for the kind of content that we're creating for the full year. Um, and I tell people, hey, we have too many videos this week. We need to calm down. Or I tell people, hey, our videos aren't on topic. If you see a topic that's being talked about regularly on live streams, or um, like if you noticed, like the first 3 months of the year, we were talking a lot about podcasting. That was kind of like I kind of help with content planning. I do all of the emails, so any emails that you get from me, um, any emails you get from Ecamm, you actually get from me. So anytime there's a typo, you should let me know. Um, and if you're getting more than one of the same email, you're subscribed at multiple addresses, and you should unsubscribe at the email addresses that don't make sense for you. I also work a lot on our social media schedules. And what else do I do?
He creates, Caleb creates all uh,
Like
nice,
templates,
the
downloads,
templates,
websites.
the Notions thing, a lot of the PDFs that you receive when we do um, events and stuff like that. They put that together too and send that out. So pretty much any email that you get from Ecamm is 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 done by Caleb.
Any of
So
the sign up portions of like the workflows of like, oh, you go to the landing site and you put your information in, and then it gives you a download. That's all stuff that I figure out how to do.
yep, yeah, yeah. Caleb handles all the smoke and magic behind the curtain.
I'm behind the curtains, pulling all the levers.
Yes, the great and powerful Caleb.
Hopefully that helps. Hopefully that helps demystify me a little bit.
Yeah, we talk almost daily in one way, shape, or form.
It's true. I send Paul links all the time, just no context. I'll just send Paul a link, and he always clicks them. So one day I should just sneak a phishing link in there. But he'll click them and then give me a bunch of feedback. He'll be like, "This is ugly. This is stupid. You
That
spelled
doesn't
this
make
wrong."
any sense. Yeah, yeah. We have fun. I have to admit, um, Ecamm is probably the best team. I've only had one other experience like this in my long years of corporate, but Ecamm is absolutely incredible to work alongside. They take with the moderators. I started out. This will be. I think this is going to be my third anniversary.
That
Yeah,
checks out because you've been
because
around a little less than me, and I'm this next week is my like during Leap into Live, it'll be 4 years.
I can't remember
My
if it
fourth
was
year.
3 years ago or the 4 years ago that I had been a moderator for Doc, and Leap was coming up, and so Doc referred me over to Katie, and Katie said, "Do you want to help out with Leap?" And I said, "Yes." And I had only been moderating for Doc probably a month or two when I jumped into the deep end, and it's just been incredible. Everything has happened since that first leap for me. Lots and lots of change. So it's been a fun experience. It has not been dull.
It's always fun around here.
Yes, we laugh and kid around and joke and have a great
And make
time. Pardon me?
and make fun of Doc
Yes,
mostly.
yes. And then on streams I get to tell Jamie to get off my yard. I don't know how that. I think Jamie started that. We have this bantering going on back and forth. I finally actually created a T-shirt that says "Get off my yard." Anybody have anything else? Burning questions, stuff like that? We're sorry, one of my cameras in the way. If not, we're 45 minutes in. We'll end it here unless anybody else
We'll
has
pull
anything
the
else.
plug.
Yes, push the magic button. Go back to our daily routine at this point. How many participants and how many speakers will be at camp? 100
Um,
participants. Yeesh.
100 participants, like 10 or 12 speakers.
Yeah.
It depends. We don't, it's not all like, it's finalized, but it's not all in stone.
Yeah. We're,
So we
we're still,
know what we're doing for camp, but like there's little add-ons and addendums that we're constantly tweaking.
I mean, there'll be the big reception event when, the very first night before camp actually starts. That is tons of fun. Last year it was a working session, all that stuff. This year we're not doing that. It's completely, totally a meet and greet and interact and socialize and get to know each other.
And fun and
Yes.
drinks if you drink.
Yep. Maybe s'mores.
I forgot about that. Maybe snores.
Anyway, thanks everybody for joining us. I'm going to go into our final rah rah. Appreciate everybody joining. We'll be back again next month. Watch the Ecamm YouTube channel. There's lots of stuff coming up. Um, watch the weekly emails that we send out for all the great things that are planned on the schedule and all that stuff. And until the next time, take care.